by finding a comfortable meditation or receptive posture. Let's allow ourselves to become very present. Tuning our attention inward. Good day to ya. We welcome you to the realms of light, where the vast majority of who you are also exists. We welcome you to the realms of light from where your physical life, your physical personality and your entire physical worlds also spring. We are most excited for all of you who are on this great adventure, following your passion to co-create this wonderful center. For the world truly is as you dream it. Your physical lives are very much like the dreams that you experience in your nighttime. You are moving to that state of consciousness where you recognize the physical life is but another version of a dream experience that you're having. Thusly, when you follow your passion, you truly begin to realize that you can create and crystallize your most intimate longings into a physicalized, crystallized, time-space reality structure. Thusly, you are becoming more lucid in your physical lifetime as much as you are learning to become lucid in your nighttime dreams. For you are moving as a society very, very quickly to fourth density consciousness, whereby your physical lives will become much more dream-like, where synchronicity will be experienced in what might at this time appear to be magical and incredible ways. This will be part and parcel of your daily experience. And while you will always feel the magic of your life, you will at the same time experience it as your daily reality. Thusly, it is so important to follow your passion, for that is the translation by your physical body of the non-physical consciousness. You translate it as excitement and passion. Thusly, as the old saying goes, follow your bliss and don't be afraid. This is how you crystallize the non-physical you into the crystallized reality all around you, for you are recognizing that it is not something that exists apart from you. It is you. You are the reality that you previously thought you existed within. Thusly, when you crystallize the non-physical portion of you through the physical actions that you take by following your passion, so do you crystallize that non-physical energy into events, into circumstances. Thusly, recognize that the circumstances are secondary. It is the vibration that is primary, and you're learning as physical personalities to translate this non-physical energy that you are into this type of crystallized reality that you take to be your time-space reality, but this is all an extension of you. Thus you are recognizing that it is a kind of lucid dream, rather than, as the old consciousness would dictate, that things happen to you. It is not a haphazard universe. Everything happens with intricate precision. There is nothing out of place. It is only from your limited perspective you can consider anything to be out of place. Everything already is in a spontaneous, synchronous order. Synchronicity abounds. Now, of course, you can have negative as well as positive synchronicity, and we often point out that there is no such thing as an obstacle. An obstacle is simply the revelation of negative beliefs that are active. For you are running your energy through a negative belief structure. And this is being reflected to the external reality that you experience. Thusly, the reflection points to the negative belief that is generating it. Thus, it is not an obstacle, it is a revelation. All obstacles are revelations. They reveal to you exactly through which belief matrix you are running your energy. Thusly, to become lucid in your waking life, you recognize that everything is synchronicity, everything is perfectly materializing in utter perfection. And when you label it thusly, you can work with it more consciously by rolling your sleeves up and taking ownership, taking responsibility for everything you have previously labeled as an obstacle. Reframing it to allow it to serve you as a revelation. For you cannot change what you do not own. Thusly bringing to your awareness all that limits you, gives you the capacity to transform. For when you look at it in a neutral way without pushing it away, you can have the power of choice. Thusly using the power of paradox and the power of choice by becoming aware, by acknowledging where you are, including all the limitations, then you can step beyond. When you truly learn the curriculum, you can step to the next stage of development. This has been expanded through the experience shared this morning when you truly acknowledge the challenge and the difficulty for what it is, and you truly extract from it the lesson that is there to bring to you, then you can truly move beyond. But when you push it aside, when you resist, then you prolong the experience within that stage of curriculum. Only by embracing the limitation can you go beyond it. So let our limitations serve as messengers to let you to know exactly where you are restricting your energy so that you can let more of that energy go and flow through your personality, manifesting more and more of that which you prefer. Becoming aware of the entire structure of your personality, all the beliefs, all the feelings and all the thoughts. Taking ownership, taking stock, reveals all the ways that you restrict yourselves, where you are doing it to yourselves, and when you realize that you are the one doing it, then you have the choice to choose otherwise. Thusly, do not be afraid to investigate, to explore your personality, especially those portions of the personality that restrict the flow, for then you can release in consciousness, choose a much more preferred state of being. Not by invalidating the negativities, but by embracing them. And this is the power of paradox. For when you truly own it, you can release it. You can choose otherwise. Now the way to activate this process of expansion, as we have mentioned, is to continue to follow your passion, follow your excitement. Now we very much love to impart the formula that has been given by the Sasani civilization as a gift to humanity. That being to follow your passion to the best of your ability, with taking it as far as you can with zero insistence on any particular outcome. This formula given as a gift to humanity very much distills the process in the most basic of terms, for you are learning to translate your non-physical energy self into crystallized, physicalized reality. You do this by following your passion. You take it as far as you can. And the idea of zero insistence simply means that from a physicalized perspective, we do not know. As a physical consciousness, you do not know how things will play out. Only the higher mind knows such things. Therefore, you want to trust the higher mind to fill in the time-space reality, while you as a physical personality maintain and hone the vibration of excitement, of passion. Through whatever projects you are engaged in, trust that synchronicity is always working, and even if you're finding yourself experiencing various blockages or limitations, know that those limitations are being highlighted so that you can work through them. So do not be afraid of the limitations. If they are being revealed to you, it means that more awareness is flowing into your personality. For when you expand the light, it reveals more of the darkness. This is part of the joy of expansion. Expansion is a process of inclusion. Thusly, it includes not only more awareness of the light, but also more awareness of the darkness. And yet, when you are able to see it all as part of all that is, without invalidating any portion of all that is, so within that state of neutrality, you can choose that which you prefer without invalidating that which you do not prefer, making it thusly easy to choose your preferred realities. Thusly embracing that power of the paradox, without invalidating any portion of all that is, and by extension, without invalidating any portion of your personality. You can, using the positive, inclusive vibration of integration, embrace all that you are, including the negative portions. And in so doing, find yourself in the positive vibration of integration, which will allow you to expand into more and more. For expansion is a process of inclusion. So do not be afraid to continue to expand. Do not be afraid of the limitations that the light reveals. For that is an indication, not that it is not working, but rather that it is precisely working. For synchronicity is organizing your curriculum for you. So anything that you are experiencing is perfectly designed for you and by you as a creative challenge. Therefore, label it as a creative challenge, and you'll have a creative, exciting experience of working with and working through and beyond that challenge. Label it as an impediment, as a wall, as a block, and you'll have the experience of a wall, a block, a limitation. Trust yourselves above all. Trust the process that you're in. Indeed, it is a very safe universe, for you all are infinite, eternal beings. And you exist. And by the nature of your existence, you have inherent and incredible value. You are a part of all that is. Thusly, as a basic reality, you have inherent and incredible value, for all that is would not be all that it could be had you not existed. And because you exist, you're an integral part of all that is. So take it at face value. You have incredible value. You are here. You are a part of it all. You have a part to play. You have a note to play in the grand symphony, in the grand orchestration. So know yourselves and honor yourselves. And indeed, when you know and honor and integrate yourselves, so will you know and honor others and integrate as a society, as a reflective mirror for the integration taking place within yourselves. And know that all parts of all that is are honored and respected. For the negative provides contrast to the positive, and due to the infinite nature of all that is, all realities play themselves out. And you can choose the realities that you prefer by navigating, by following your passion, and using the Sasani formula. Now, having shared and delivered this message, we would like to ask if there are any questions that we can address at this time.
So there's a question on Facebook from Anne Florence Jones. Can you please speak more about the formula?
Yes, the formula originally was delivered by the entity known as Bashar. However, here we can simply expand upon it as the translation of the non-physical version of who you are into physicalized, crystallized term, the experience of passion as it courses through your physical structure, through your physical body. That is the translation of the non-physical version of who you are. Therefore, trust the flow of excitement and the flow of passion. You can use that as a navigational tool, for you are always receiving communications from your higher mind. Impulses, as Seth would say, you're always receiving impulses. And when you act upon them, you so then translate that impulse, that non-physical energy of who you are, into physicalized events. You crystallize it, you channel it down from the higher non-physical aspects of who you are into physicalized, crystallized events. You ground the energy, you ground the circuit when you take the action upon it. Thusly, it is all well and good to visualize, but it is through the action, through the physical action, because you are physical creatures. You ground the energy, the non-physical energy, through your action. Thusly, it is so important to act on your passion. For when you then act on your passion, you are not channeling the energy of who you are into your physical body. Thusly, you will begin to experience diminishment of energy, for you not completing the circuit. Being a physical creature, it is up to each physicalized consciousness to continue to pour consciousness through the physical vehicle, through the physical action that you take by following your passion. The second part being taking it as far as you can. This simply means to continue to follow that excitement, and it will begin to reveal to you places within your personality structure, within your personality matrix, that might have previously limited you. Negative beliefs will begin to come to the surface, for you are now running a greater degree of your non-physical energy through the personality structure, in a sense stretching it. And as a snake sheds its old skin, as your personality begins to expand with the light of who you are, so too will it stretch and push against the negative beliefs, activating them, bringing them to your awareness. And the negative feelings will then begin to generate the negative emotions associated with them and the negative thoughts. And so at that time, you're going through a process of cleaning up your vibration, sorting through and choosing beliefs that are more in alignment with who you truly are will allow more of that light of your consciousness to flow through you. And of course, having no insistence on a particular outcome. This means that from a physicalized level, it is not the job of the physical mind to be able to know how things are meant to play out. It is the job of the higher mind to know, calculating many probabilities and parallel realities. The higher mind is the one on the mountaintop who sees the whole large vantage point, whereas the physical mind is there just to help you focus in physical reality in your particular timeline. Thusly, allow the physical mind to relax and surrender onto the higher mind, which is also an extension of you. Thusly, having no insistence on a particular outcome, you can allow things to unfold as they do, for there are times when certain lessons will be orchestrated for you to reveal what negative beliefs you're holding on to, so you can work through that and thereby expand your personality to accept even more of this light energy, so that you can translate it through your physicalized action to manifest more of who you are in the physical terms. The flip side of that being that the physical mind might conjure up an idea of how it wants things to happen, and the higher mind might have a vision that is much vaster than your physical mind could ever imagine. Thusly, if you insist on a particular outcome, you're putting severe limitations upon the way things could play themselves out for you. For the physical mind often has a much smaller capacity to visualize what is possible for you than your higher mind, which sees so much beyond the localized perspective of the physical mind. Thusly, releasing, surrendering the outcome, letting it flow into place rather than trying to bang it into place. This will free up the physical mind to allow to rest and relax, and to simply focus on the action that it can take in that moment, in that particular time space coordinate. While the higher mind will allow the orchestration of the reality, the synchronicities that the physical mind could never activate. The higher mind, knowing all intersections of all time and all place, seeing from the mountaintop, that is the orchestrator. So trust that portion of you to organize everything for you. So that is the formula in a nutshell. Lastly, of course, you want to frame all that happens, the synchronicity, be it positive or negative synchronicity, as there to serve you. There is nothing in your way that is not there for a very specific reason. Thusly, taking the positive frame on even that which happens due to negative energy. That is highly important. So that is the formula in a nutshell.
Thank you. There are 2 more questions on Facebook. One is also from Anne, asking, can you suggest a practice to be more able to receive our inspirations, information from our higher self? And thank you again.
Use your imagination. For your imagination is the link between your physical mind and the higher mind. Thusly, each individual will be drawn to their own unique ways of activating their energy. Now, the general idea is when you follow your passion, you are bringing yourself closer in vibration to the non-physical higher mind version of who you are. So following your passion, of course, is the gateway, but use your imagination for what might work for one individual might not necessarily work for another. So while one person might be inspired to garden and to plant beautiful flowers or to plant vegetables. Another might be drawn to the guitar or to play music, while a third person might be inspired to use art and creative production, creative expression in the various arts. It all depends on you. But the underlying thread is to follow the excitement and follow the passion. We hope this answers the question.
Thank you so much. So there's one more little comment and then a question at the end. This is from Joe. Tears down my cheek. When I secretly said I'm afraid for the blockage I have to work through, and then you started talking about not being afraid. What should I do with the guilt over the self-medication addiction to it? Thank you, Joe.
First of all, there is no shoulds. Therefore, embrace where you are, for where you are is a perfect manifestation of your particular path and your theme of exploration. Acknowledge yourself where you are, for only when you fully validate where you are in your path of expansion, only then can you begin to perceive the next stages of the journey. When you invalidate where you are, when you invalidate the step that you're on, you remove your ability to step to the next stage of development. As a flower opens up, we might say that the completion of that process is the fully opened flower releasing its wonderful fragrance. Yet there is an arc of development whereby the flower begins as a seed and grows, opens up to the flower, the bud then begins to open and awaken. So there's all these stages of development, and each stage is perfect as it is. That's why you are perfect where you are right now. And only when you acknowledge the perfection of where you are can you then begin to continue your stage of opening. Thusly acknowledge where you are as paradoxically being perfect. When you fully validate, when you fully embrace yourself, when you fully love yourself as you are, unconditionally, meaning without conditions, only then do you create the proper frequency, the proper climate within which you can continue to open up to the greater parts of who you are as the flower bud opens up to its full potential as the flower in its fully open state. Thusly, the integrative frequency is to acknowledge exactly where you are, embrace yourself, embrace all portions of you, all negativities, and that creates the harmonic of integration, and it is this positive energy that will allow you to continue to open forward. So we hope that answers or points you in a positive direction.
Thank you so much. And I heard from both women that asked the questions, they said thank you. Anne said, yes, it answered the question. So much appreciation for all of you. My heart is full. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. So now we would ask...
one comment.
Okay, very good. Go ahead.
First of all, thank you. I love your vibration. I love how it feels when you're speaking. I love it. Thank you. I can't help but notice the wonderful movement of your hands when you're speaking. And I wanted to know if that has anything to do with you appearing here from where you are. And does that somehow enhance the vibration? Is your movement, it's so rhythmic and warming, is that somehow a part of some kind of resonance of where you are and where you're coming to?
Yes, it is a way of using the physicalized, crystallized body as a kind of tuning mechanism, increasing the vibration, like two antennae pulling in the frequency and transmitting the frequency. So yes, it helps with the resonation, and wonderful observation on your part.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's just so nice to feel it while it's happening. Thank you.
It is truly lovely to co-create as you all are doing, for you are truly living that formula, following your passion. Thusly, any one being that follows their passion, and especially when you come together in community, you become beacons of light for others to do so.
I have a question.
Very good.
You're always trying to help us with our issues. I would like to know what density you are and what it's like where you are.
Ooh.
Fifth density, which is fifth dimensionality, is what you would call spirit consciousness. Thusly, we exist in a medium where time and space don't have the same meanings as they do for you in third and fourth density. Thusly, our perceptions of time would be much more simultaneous. Even while we are focusing into this unique time-space perspective that you're experiencing. We are experiencing a non-corporal consciousness. However, our focus is very much on helping you all to translate that vibration into physicalized time-space reality, manifestation, crystallization, and to help to deconstruct the limitations that have been a part of your particular timeline for thousands of years. So that is our purpose at this particular time-space reality intersection with your reality.
So Tom, can you hear us in there? Are you feeling? Kind of like to ask you what it's like for you, Tom, to experience this. But let us know where you're at. If there's more messages from your channel, or where you are with this floating back to us as the Tom we know and love, or
we will, at this time, allow this transmission to come to a pause, so that we can return to our point where we are transmitting this information at all times, through all times, to infinity. Therefore, this transmission is always occurring and you can always tune into it, for this is very much a reflection, this conversation, of the conversation you are learning to have with your own higher minds. Thusly, as this transmission comes to a pause, know that you can, at any point in time in your time-space reality, open up such a dialogue with your own higher mind. For as has been said in the beginning, everything is an extension of everything else, everything is interconnected. Thusly, each of you has that capacity to have this same conversation with what you would feel as your own higher mind for all our aspects of all that is. So now we will allow this transmission to come to a pause, and we thank you for the gift of this sharing. And as your favorite entity once said, we wish you a fond good day.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you very much. We've had beautiful comments. Vanessa said, inspiring transmission, much gratitude. Miriam said, thank you, Thomas. Love his Scotsman's brogue. Sounds like he was a Scotsman in a previous life. Joe said, yes, hand on my heart. Thank you, Thomas, in spirit. And I and we may love ourselves unconditionally, no matter where we are. Hope to start my light work soon to let the flower unfold again. Gratitude.
Lovely.
And said, time for, she had one more question.
Oops.
One more question, yes. Can I ask you? I understand that Bashar is influential in your development. Is Bashar actually an alien life force?
That's a question you can field.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive him. And there's definitely extraterrestrial consciousness in play as well as extra-dimensional. So there's physical civilizations and quasi-physical civilizations and non-physical entities all working with Earth at this time.
Thank you.
And again, as you say, and your channel says, it says this, we can all access this soul energy.
Absolutely.
Energy.
Yes. It is there for all of us. It's really the formula, really is what I've discovered in my life, and I've been doing this for a long time. It's truly the distilled essence of the wisdom, because it's each step that we take reveals the next step. You know, it's like we get the impulse to follow this particular passion, and we take that step, and then the next step is revealed. But if we don't act, it's like higher mind's just like, well, here's, what are you waiting for? It's like, we have all the steps here, but you're not acting. So it's up to you, and you have free will. You have the ability to say no. You have the ability to say like, maybe tomorrow, but that just delays the inevitable unfolding of that flower. So it really, the formula, it's all in there.
That was so lovely. It was so nice. It just absolutely felt wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. I love doing this. This is truly following my passion. And, it's always like I expand into it, and then I also see where my personality has certain limitations and filters or attempts to filter. So as a channel, it's quite a powerful practice, because I can see how I sometimes resist. It's like a certain question will come in and it's like, it's like, wow, okay, good. That just got revealed. Okay.
This is the best use of this technology, to reach out to each other, to explore spirituality, to talk about exactly all of this. So what a blessing it is we have that we're living at a time where our friends around the world are a few button clicks away, and our interdimensional friends can join us now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She really touched her. She just commented, I felt from the beginning the goosebumps energies over my legs and a very special energy present. Tears pouring constantly.
Wow.
It felt like healing was going on. Is that right? Loved it, Thomas.
That's awesome. Yes.
If I might make a comment, I've been participating in Tom's channeling group, and I have discovered that after it's all over, I have an enormous amount of unknown energy coming from somewhere, leading on through the night and into the next day. So I don't know if other people picked that up or not, but I hope you did. And Thomas, thank you for joining our group. I'm really happy that you found us and we found you, and maybe future time you can come back.
Yeah, Absolutely love to come back and do this again. And just one last thing that comes to me, we talked about technology. I feel like kind of one of the not so commonly seen aspects of what's happening with 2020 is that we're actually learning to communicate and open up telepathically. And so this is like a transitional phase whereby, we're not so limited by time and space, and through the assistance of technology, we are connecting that global mind in a more powerful way. So yeah, it's pretty exciting that way.
How long have you been doing it?
Only about a year, like I said. I mean, less than a year, within a year. But I have been exposed to this material for a long time, and I've made kind of half-hearted attempts, but it wasn't fully quite ready to follow my passion and really reveal it. So it kind of hit dead ends because I didn't allow myself to break through the limitations, the fears, the fear of coming out, it's like, oh my God, what will people think? That stops many good people from following their passion. So I kind of dabbled in it a little bit, but it never went anywhere until finally I was listening to Bashar, and he just, particularly about channeling, he just says, get a group of friends together, have them ask you questions, just do it. He's just always pushing the action, and I'm like, all right, it's time for me, it's like, when you act on that passion and share it, because it's like you have this beautiful light, but you're like hiding it, you know what I mean? It's like, because you're afraid of what will people say, but it doesn't matter what the detractors will say. It matters what positive influence you'll have on the people who the message is for. You know what I mean? And I know I know it's like the fear of God to come out of that closet. It's just like, it's scary. It's hella scary. Like, I'll definitely acknowledge that. I still feel the fear. I was very nervous before today. It's still I'm still breaking down those barriers, but by following the passion and allowing the light to come through, it's revealing the negative blockages in a way that I can work through them, rather than if I just say, oh, I'm not going to do it. I mean, I would probably just be depressed and kind of, I just wouldn't even know what's going on. But by acting, each time I act, it expands and expands. More light shines into those negative beliefs, and I can continue to work with it consciously. And then I have the experience of like, hey, nobody ridiculed me. I'm still okay. Not being burned at the stake. It's like I live in a safe universe. But it's really just allowing that light, and daily practice. I actually practice vocally for myself, but out loud, because there's something about vocalizing it out loud that's actually crystallizing it it's physicalizing it, and it's helping to build that bridge and the link between the non-physical and the physical mind. So, even for those who are afraid out there but want to channel, just start channeling out loud for yourself, start recording yourself, just do it. But most of all, get a trusted friend to ask questions, Q&A. Yeah, exactly. And then that pulls it's like pulling electricity through a circuit when those questions are getting asked.
Is this the only entity that you channel?
So,
is there another one?
Well,
is there a female entity?
So it comes to me as my higher mind, and sometimes I get hints of flavors of different aspects, but it hasn't defined itself yet as like, okay, this is this entity, this is that entity. It's kind of coming through, the higher mind, grand central, goes to the soul, the oversoul, and then there's all the aspects, right? So, but I haven't really gotten the full glimpse of all what each in the individual. Are you seeing something? Because you sounds like you're sensing something. Yeah.
So like they would say, we'll stay tuned, because I definitely, absolutely do feel something else.
One thing I do get is that it does seem to dip into a little bit of the extra, other civilizations, like extraterrestrial stuff. So that's very interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just lovely how open you are, and it therefore makes you feel like a whole font of dimensional energy is there to come through, ready to pounce and be out. So that's lovely.
Wanting to be
such a wonderful vibe. Oh,
thank you.
When it's question and answer time, you know me, I'm not the most conventional. I'll go right off topic and ask something else, and the answers have been spot on, and it's really nice to have somebody to ask all those to elaborate on some of the ideas and principles that Seth brought through, not to negate Seth, but just to have somebody just to say, well, what does this mean or that mean? Because we really don't have a whole lot of people we can ask those questions to. So I jump on it when the opportunity arises.
Well, the resonance of the energy is just beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to add to that. Would make you sick. This is for all of us. What's inside all of us. So I almost want to make a sign that sometimes I do that. Let's all this week channel.
Yeah.
I mean, sit there and go to that inner voice that has been wanting to speak with your recorder through you. You can do it with a friend or by yourself, and you're loved by the universe, who is going to be so happy to get the invitation.
Yeah, they're like, oh, wow, we've been waiting for this for eons.
Oh my God, that human phone finally rang.
Right.
I get to talk to you. Listening. Yeah. So really, seriously and humorously, make it a point this week to sit down every day and maybe have a Seth book nearby for inspiration, but your recorder, and feel like start or continue the conversation you're having with the universe.
And play.
Playful, loving, trusting. It's the greater, you're part of this, and it wants to come through, so allow it. And feel the love, feel the joy of life, the zest. Speak. So if Seth can speak, so can you. Really, because this is part of your huge soul, encouraging each other, your soul development. Go within, channel. Yes, it's that easy to listen to the great within and allow the great within to speak through you. It wants to. Now more than ever, we need to hear from the great within of every to bring healing to this outer world. What is within you is limitless, amazing. Get all the words into the rest of that ... there, but do it, and then people can start a whole new life.
Absolutely. Because even if you do it for yourself, if you're not feeling called to do it for others, if you do it for yourself, you're still making contact with your higher mind. And to punctuate your day, your life daily with that contact, your life will absolutely transform. You're making space for that energy. Yeah.
We all lived 100% consciously in communication with our higher self every day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for that.
Let's do that.
That would change things. But look at how the world has changed in the small, well, I say small, but in the years since it all first started,
absolutely.
since Seth manifested, and look at where we are now. My gosh, what a difference.
Yes.
What a difference. So it's already having a profound effect from back when it started to the now. And we're so much more expanded in our reach and our reach out to each other. It's so guiltless. I mean, when you think about the religious atmosphere of the past, and the further back you go, the worse it was. So this is no Salem witch trial fear going on around us. We're open to each other because we feel safe. We're beginning to understand more and more about the fact that it's a safe universe. That's being reinforced. So I'm so grateful for that. This is just all of this, all of us, the usness. It's just fabulous. It's so reaffirming. We're getting psychic hugs.
Indeed.
Yeah, universe is hugging us, and I love it.
Oh, Thomas, do you want to tell people your email, or not your email, your website name? So they know how to find.
So it's, if you're a Seth reader, it should be easy. It's sumarihealingarts.com.
Wonderful. This has been a very special Seth Talk here live from Elmira, New York, for